The crypto markets have gone insane these last few weeks, and Arbitrum has been the #1 place to be with the bullish momentum behind it. Already becoming the dominant layer 2 scaling solution, I'm confident that Arbitrum is going to give us the next 100x's in the bull run. Arbitrum is home to some of the most successful projects in DeFi, and we've talked about a lot of them on this channel before, ones like GMX, GNS, and dopex. We're going to give an overview of the Arbitrum ecosystem and talk about some of the latest projects that have launched so that you can be more comfortable navigating this ecosystem. Arbitrum has already become the leading layer 2 scaling solution, competing with other solutions such as Polygon Matic or Optimism. And if we scroll down here, we can see that Arbitrum already is the 4th largest ecosystem, coming in at over $1.78 billion with 194 different applications deployed. Taking a quick look at the numbers, we can see that Arbitrum has had massive inflow. Money is just pouring into this ecosystem, right? Up 67% in the last month alone. And this is really incredible because Arbitrum is one of the few ecosystems that's never launched a token yet. For example, Polygon has a token, Optimism has a token, Avalanche, right? All of these projects have tokens. And so what's really incredible is that this is actually a great opportunity to get involved, right? Interact with these different projects and for a chance to qualify for a free airdrop. We saw this recently with Optimism, where early users were granted thousands of dollars in a free airdrop, and I think the same could happen for Arbitrum. What's up, YouTube? Welcome back to my channel. I am Crypto with Nick. I'm a crypto enthusiast and DeFi investor, and I'm always focusing on sharing my best strategies, research, and alpha with all of you. So if you're into that, be sure to hit that like button, subscribe, come join the completely free community Discord, and let's get into today's video. And of course, as always, the timestamps are included below, so feel free to jump around. One of the most exciting projects has been Camelot, and it brings together a lot of characteristics from projects like Uniswap v2, Curve Finance, and even a little bit of inspiration from Salty, kind of bringing everything together to create this new, really efficient, decentralized exchange. What's been really cool about Camelot is they even offered a public sale when they kicked off a few months ago. You can see I tweeted this back on November 29th, and this really allowed you to get on the ground floor of this project. So if we take a look at the price action here, we can see it went live on the 7th. Basically did nothing for a few weeks, and then man, this thing just took off like a rocket ship, right? It's doing a little bit of a correction now, which I think is expected, but I think if you look from the bottom to the top, at one point this was around a 15x. So let's dive into the world of Camelot and kind of give you a quick overview of this project. So it's a decentralized exchange at its core, right? So swapping between different assets, and it really borrows from two different models here. One is the Uniswap v2 model, so swapping between volatile pairs, something like Ethereum and USDC. And then kind of borrowing also from the Curve Finance pool, which allows you to swap between assets that are pegged to each other. And this allows you to do it with really low slippage and really low fees and kind of get the most when you make these swaps. As we dive into the platform, we check out the Earn tab, we can see that there's yield farms, nitro pools, and Genesis pools. Let's just touch on the Genesis pools really fast because these were pools for users that were interested in providing liquidity at day 0. And so if you haven't already entered in these pools, you're not going to be able to do so. Camelot has established partnerships with some of the most prominent projects over on Arbitrum to create these Genesis pools. Projects like GMX, Jones Dow, Abracadabra, GMD, Buffer Finance. And what they were able to do was create these pools with essentially boosted rewards. You can see here they opened up on November 22nd, right? They closed by December 2nd, and essentially it was rewards that were going to be distributed over 6 months, right? So these were people that really wanted to get on that ground floor and saw the long-term vision. To understand the rest of Camelot, we really have to understand this concept of stake position NFTs, which is represented here, this SP NFT. The point of these NFTs is they represent your position. So you basically wrap your liquidity provider tokens, and in exchange, you're provided with this NFT to earn yield on. If we walk through this flow chart, right, we're the user up here in the top left corner. And as we flow through it, right, we can create a liquidity provider position, something like Ethereum and USDC. And then we have the option to essentially have an unlocked NFT or locked NFT for 1 month to 3 months to even longer. And the longer you locked it, the more boosted rewards you'll receive. Walking through this end to end, we're back over here on the Camelot, right? We click the trade button. We're here at the liquidity section, and let's pretend we're doing Ethereum and USDC, and we can deposit our crypto. Then what we can do is come over here to the Earn tab. We can look for the yield farms. And if we go ahead and pick something like this Ethereum and USDC, you can see here I can actually create this thing that says new position. So when I create a new position, what I'll be able to do is deposit my liquidity provider tokens and now set a max lock bonus. So right now, if I do max, I can do 6 months and 3 days, which is going to give me a 70% lock bonus or a 1.7x. And when you're depositing into different yield farms, you could also look at different compatible nitro pools. And these pools are really cool because it allows anyone to create a pool, right? So this could be Camelot themselves, this could be the Camelot partners, or even community based. And it gives them a lot of flexibility, such as, is there a whitelist? Is there a duration? How much you can deposit, right? So this gives a lot of flexibility on the platform. If we take a peek at these pools like this GMX USDC one, right, we can see that the APR range is 21% to 63%. So if you click on this, right, it gives you more insights. It can say, hey, this is an eligible Nitro pool, right? So it's offering an additional 24% in incentives. And when you look at the payout, right, remember that the payout is going to be 80% X Grail and 20% Grail. And we'll dive into what the difference of these two are next. Camelot actually has two different tokens on the platform that we just saw, right? They have Grail, which is the native liquid token. They also have Xgrail, which is this non-transferable governance token of the platform. When you earn Grail, you can simply sell it to something else you prefer, or you can come over here to the Xgrail section of the application and you can actually lock it up to earn Xgrail. With your Xgrail, you have a couple different options, right? You can go ahead and allocate your Xgrail in order to get a share of the platform fees, or you can go ahead and help it boost your yields on your APRs. Just to wrap this part up, when you have a Grail, you can convert it to Xgrail at any point. You can see this is a process instant one-to-one. But when you want to take Xgrail to Grail, and remember, 80% of your rewards are going to be in Xgrail. So this part is extremely important, right? The minimum vesting duration is 15 days, and the ratio is going to be 1 to 0.5 ratio. The maximum vesting duration is going to be 6 months, and this is how you can get the whole 1-to-1 ratio. The last feature I want to mention about Camelot is actually the Launchpad, which is really interesting option to get on the ground floor and public sale of new and up and coming projects. You can see there's been 3 so far. There's Grail, which is then the native token of this platform. There's Neutral Finance, as well as what's going on right now, which is Trove. And what's not listed so far is a Factor Down, which is an upcoming project, which will also do a Camelot public launch and on-chain trade. So these are 2 of them that are up and coming. Right now, what we have going on is Trove. There's only 1 day and 11 hours left. So depending on when you're watching this video, this might already be closed. But if you ever see a launch, do not rush. There is no benefit to being early. And what I mean by that is when you go ahead and participate in these public launches, everyone exits with the exact same price, right? So make sure that when these launches open, you do your due diligence, you research these projects, and make sure you align with them, right? No need to rush into them. Everyone gets the same price, I promise you. Next, we're going to be talking about Vela, which is a new decentralized perpetual exchange, and also talk about a potential airdrop that you could get by being an early beta tester. Vela put out this tweet today confirming they have an airdrop coming, indicating that the larger trading volume you do during the beta could lead to a larger airdrop, which is really cool to always see projects reward early users. If we check out Vela, we can see we have everything from crypto, Bitcoin, Ethereum, Dogecoin, but we also have Forex, things like the euro, the pound, and the Japanese yen. Everything on this platform runs off USDC, and so what you'll have to do is deposit some USDC, and with crypto, you can go long or short, you can see up to 30x leverage. Of course, you can come here, also check out the Forex. Unfortunately, I'm filming this video where the markets are closed, so of course you would have to abide by the normal market times to go ahead and trade this, but you can trade this actually up to 100x leverage. You can also come over here to the stake tab and mint BLP, which is going to be the liquidity provider token to the platform. And you'll go ahead and accrue the profits and losses of trading activity that occurs, much like the same as GMX's GLP or the gains trade GDI Vault. With VLP, it looks like you're earning about 56% APR right now on the token. Just to note that when you want to redeem your VLP for USDC, there is a cooldown period of about 2 days. There's also Vela, the exchange token for the platform, and Escrow Vela, which also accrue rewards and fees. And Escrow Vela literally unlocks over 6 months, much like Escrow GMX, which typically takes 1 year to unlock. You can see here the way that the VLP liquidity pool gets at APR is through open and closing fees, VLP minting fees, as well as funding fees. And you can see here 25% of that goes to the treasury, 50% of that goes to the liquidity pool, and then 25% of that goes to USDC and escrowed Vela rewards. And this essentially is a accumulation of realized losses and profits. You can, of course, take a look at this chart, right? We can look at what happens if we can buy Vela, right? We can stake it. We can earn all these different fees. Of course, you can also earn escrow Vela, which again, you can stake it, or again, you can go ahead and invest it and receive it over that escrowed period. Taking a look at this price action, right? From the bottom to the top, of course, this thing is exploded. This is what all of the crypto charts look like right now, right? About 40 million market cap, so a fraction of its competitors, but it still is in beta, so rightfully so. Also, the liquidity only 2.2 million, so very thin, meaning this price action can easily move up and down, right? Definitely put it on your watch list. Be sure to look out for it. Next, we're going to be focusing on Jones DAO, which is actually really recommended to me by a few different people on Twitter when I was making a poll a few days ago. And so Jones DAO really has one simple goal, and it's honestly just to make DeFi strategies easier. It's got so far about 48 million in total value locked, right? With its vaults having about 32 million of that, and it has about 7 different vaults that we can kind of quickly go over here. Taking a look at these different vaults, we have the leveraged Delta GLP vault, right? This is going to be built on top of GMX. We have the gamma neutral USDC vault. And then what we have here is these meta vaults for dopex, right? This is the dopex Ethereum token, as well as the R dopex and Ethereum pair. And then what you can see here is we also have some option vaults for dopex and rebate dopex. So if we deposit our funds into something like this leveraged Delta GLP vault, if you scroll down, they actually do a really good explaining on how each vault works. So for example, the deposited tokens are used to mint GLP, and then our vault borrows USDC from the J USDC vault within the specific risk parameters and uses leverage ranges to expand yield potential. What this is essentially saying is deposit your money into our vault and we'll use our strategies to go ahead and increase the yield delivered to you. We also have this concept of meta vaults, which I thought was really interesting right now, offered for the dopex pair, and essentially allows you to select a direction, whether you're bullish or bearish. And if you select bullish, then the portion of the LP is used to purchase calls, and if you're bearish, then it's used to purchase puts. I also saw this Twitter post posted by Jones DAO, and which I thought was pretty interesting, which kind of talked about their backtesting for the meta vaults. So if you check this out, this is the dopex Ethereum LP pair, and you can see here that in their bear vault and their bull vault, right, they outperform significantly, right? So this is definitely what we want to see. We want to see projects backtesting their data, right, looking at how things would perform historically, and then trying to apply those learnings forward. We also have a few different vaults here. Some of them are, you can see, depreciated already, things like the Ethereum and the Geom one, right? But if we click on the dopex one, right now it's closed, you can see, but it's going to actually reopen in 6 days. What I would really love to see here is the Jones DAO expanding their platform and partnerships. I love that if you come here to the featured page, right, they do a really good job making it very clear the different features of their platform, right, like the leveraged Delta GLP vault. You can scroll down a little bit more. You can read a little bit, of course, like the meta vaults, which is essentially a bet directionally on your LP yield. And then, of course, we have some partners. One's, of course, dopex, Olympus DAO, Plutus DAO, Camelot, and then, right, GMX. Taking a look at their tokenomics is really what we could hope for, right? Platform rewards represent about 42%, more or less half, right? The team gets 12%. Of course, you have operational allocation. And then you, of course, you had the public and private sale, which also accumulates to around almost 30%. If you're really interested in diving into the tokenomics, right, you can go ahead and see here the circulating supply and the vesting schedules for all these different categories. Jones DAO is definitely an older project, so nice to see that they're still building here. Of course, they're definitely experiencing this uptrend, right? All the money flown into Arbitrum looking for new projects. Pretty small market cap still, 18 million, right? Liquidity 2.4, so definitely something to look out for. Would love to see them, though, kind of expand their offerings here coming up. Next, I want to touch on ZyberSwap, which is a recently launched decentralized exchange, and this thing's absolutely exploded. I mean, it's literally become the #2 project, about 138 million in TVL. Honestly, it seems like within just a few days. I mean, checking out this token price. I mean, it launched back here on the 24th, and this thing has massively gone up from the bottom. I mean, look at this, 43x, right? Wow, I don't know how I missed this one, but I did. So, but I still want to go over it because still plenty of great opportunities here, right? So decentralized exchange, of course, allows you to swap between different assets. And of course, you can come here and yield farm, right? You can pair with the native token Zyber. It's going to give you an insane 1,500% APR. Also, though, honestly, I would just recommend maybe even jumping into these pools like Ethereum and USDT or Bitcoin and USDC, paying out 62%, 60%. These are the best APRs I've seen since the last bull run, right? So probably a great opportunity to jump in, earn some free yield, and just see how the token performs. You can come over here to the Zyber vaults. Of course, you can stake it, lock up 30 days, 7 days, or no lockups, earn some additional yield. But I mean, this price action has just been parabolic. I'm not sure I would want to be caught right now with locked tokens, right? Probably would be looking to take some profits personally if I had rode this up. But definitely an interesting project. Like I said, come over here, check out these yield farms. Looks really enticing, so just wanted to show it here. Next project we're to check out is Solid Lizard, which is another VE33 decentralized exchange, right? Borrowing inspiration from Solidity. And again, the price action on everything Arbitrum, right, is just absolutely parabolic the last few weeks, right? Again, we can see here, just pick some random point in time right here at 800, 900% gain. You know what's funny is I saw this when they first launched and I completely faded it, right? I looked at this name and this branding, Solid Lizard, and I thought there's no way that this thing takes off. And I was completely wrong because this thing has gained a lot of attention and traction over the last few weeks. Of course, I think I've gone over enough in the past how the Solidity Force works or the decentralized exchange, right? They borrow inspiration, taking from like Uniswap v2 and Curve to create either stable like swapping pools or volatile asset pools. Of course, you can launch the app, right? You can swap between these different assets. You can come over here to liquidity tab, right? You'll see here we have the volatile pools, right? Things like Ethereum, USDC, and of course these are stable pools, right? USDT and USDC. And as you earn the native token Sliz, of course you can come over here to Vest. You can create a lock, right? This again creates the NFT. We just kind of went over a similar model with Camelot where you can lock it between 1 week and 4 years. And this is going to give you more power the longer you lock it. With that, of course, you can go ahead and vote towards emissions to your favorite pools, and then you'll essentially receive bribes and rewards for doing so. And this kind of creates the flywheel of the 3-3 model. This is a recently launched project, right? But it is great to see that they're audited by PeckShield. I do respect them as an auditor, so it's always great to see. The final project we're going to be talking about today is going to be Buffer Finance. This is actually an option platform that allows you to bet on the short-term price volatility of these different assets. One thing I love with any platform is when they offer practice trading. That's such a great incentive, right? So you can come here, see how the mechanisms work, get a feel for it before you actually get involved. What's actually pretty insane here is I can actually bet by the minute, right? So starting with just a 5-minute in terms of predicting where price action is going to be 5 minutes from now, all the way up to something like 4 hours. And you can even come in here and adjust it by a per minute basis. They also have this earn model, which is really based on real yield, similar to that of the GMX tokenomics, where of course you can go ahead and stake your Buffer Finance token. You're going to earn about 13% APR. Some of that's going to be an escrowed Buffer Finance. Of course, it's going to take some time to vest. And then of course, the other part is paid out in USDC. So it's earning about 4.6% APR. And right now it's USDC. They also have the USDC Vault, which is the BLP token, right? The liquidity provider token for the platform. And by doing so, right, you're going to get 25% APR paid back to you. 15% of that right now is still escrowed, while about 9 to 10% of that is going to be in USDC. One of the things I do like about Buffer Finance is they actually have this NFT collection. If you're familiar with GMX Blueberries, they have their own thing. It's these octopuses here. They're over here on OpenSea. Of course, you can come buy one if you're interested in, right? You get a few benefits. The floor price is about 0.037 ETH right now, and they look pretty good, right? So if you're interested in this platform and you enjoy trading on it, there's definitely some perks to it. Just giving a little bit more details on these NFTs and the benefits, you can see they're broken into different tiers, silver all the way up to diamond. And what they'll go ahead is actually give you a boost in the payout when you're going ahead and placing your bets, right? So if you silver, you get a payout boost of 2%, but if you get diamond, you can get 10%, which is actually can make a pretty significant change here. And that wraps it up. We covered so much of the Arbitrum ecosystem, and be sure to like and subscribe because I'm going to be putting out new videos on the Arbitrum ecosystem, new and exciting projects, so that way you can be the first to know when they get ready to launch, right? But I hope you enjoyed this nice overview of all the things that are already happening. Be sure to follow me on Twitter. Drop me a message if you have a comment. Again, come join the completely free community Discord. Thanks for watching. See you in the next one. Cheers and happy farming.